Yo, what is going on, ladies and gents? It's your boy Lampsy back again with another video, and today we're going to be going over part 2 of the best transfers for the 18-19 season. Now, I do apologise once again if I do leave out a few other players that you guys were probably looking for me to go over. There are obviously so many transfers that have been happening this season, especially with the loan system and everything. So, nonetheless, guys, I'm going to get straight into it because I got a bad feeling this is going to be a little bit longer than expected. But if you do enjoy the video, please give it a like and please do subscribe, and let's get cracking. So the first one that we're going into is Adama Traore, who is now moved from Middlesbrough over to Wolverhampton. Now, I feel like that is an absolute bargain of a price of 20 million euros. I think Adama Traore is one of the better skillful players that will now be in the Premier League. He definitely showed what he was worth when he was playing for Middlesbrough when they were in the Premier League, and I feel like 20 million is an absolute bargain. Players, teams like Chelsea, Tottenham, I believe Manchester United, I think, were linked with him for a while when Middlesbrough were in the Premier League, but obviously Wolverhampton have got their man. For 20 million, I don't think that they can go wrong whatsoever. So now they've got a decent goal scorer as well, which is good, and obviously can play the link-up play as well for a lot of crosses and everything as well. So really good signing for Wolves, and I really hope they do stay up in the Premier League, and hope that they actually play really well this season. Another team who has also come into the Premier League is obviously Fulham, who have managed to get Andre Schürrle on loan. Now, obviously, Andre Schürrle has got a lot of Premier League experience. He's played with Chelsea. He's won quite a number of titles with Chelsea, and he's an absolute great player. He's a good goal scorer. He's a great poacher. He's a great passer. He's definitely got the whole package of a central attacking midfielder. Can also play up striker as well. He did that for a number of games for Chelsea, and he's also done that for a number of games with Germany as well. So with a loan system, obviously they can't really go wrong whatsoever except his wages. I'm not sure if it's a loan to buy, but if Schürrle does, play really well, I'm sure that he'll probably be looking to stay in London, because obviously why would he go to Fulham and everything. So nonetheless, I think it's a fantastic signing for Fulham. He was already denied a penalty in the first game, which was pretty crazy. I feel like Fulham were hard done by a little bit there, but nonetheless, Schürrle to Fulham is also another fantastic move. Now, the last one on this page is Fabinho. Now, obviously, a lot of people have been talking about this one. Fabinho has absolutely been an outstanding player for Monaco over the last few seasons. He's obviously gone to Liverpool for 45 million euros, which is actually pretty decent for a centre defensive midfielder who can actually go up the pitch as well and score goals. He's more of a Fernandinho sort of built player. If you haven't really seen him play before, he was instrumental in that Monaco winning season with Mbappe and Lamar and all them players. So nonetheless, he is an absolute fantastic player. He started on the bench on the weekend, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if Fabinho did come in and out of the squad, obviously just to help them out a bit, because there is a lot of games that are going to be played through the season, but I think predominantly he will be a first team starter. Now, moving over to the next page here, we've got Arias. Now, this is an absolute bargain of a buy now, guys. He's an absolute gem. Obviously, Arias coming from PSV Eindhoven only for 11 million euros, and that is absolute bargain prices. Obviously, he's been bought in replace for Schalke, who I'll go into a little bit later, who is only gone on loan, but he's probably going to be bought out anyway. But Arias, he is fantastic. Had a pretty decent World Cup for Colombia. He's been absolutely instrumental in the way that PSV have been playing over the last few seasons. He is young as well, so don't get me wrong at all. For the price tag, I think they've just absolutely picked up a bargain. I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually the last year on his contract, hence why he was so cheap. But he can defend really well, he's quick, he can score goals, he can link up, he's fantastic, guys. It's definitely what you need in a right back these days, especially how the left and the right backs definitely push up a lot further than they should, but that's just the way the game's played these days. Now, moving on to the second one of this page is Leonardo Bonucci, only just having spent 1 year in Milan as captain, and he's also returned back to Juventus for 35 million euros. Now, he is only 31 years old. I know that's still quite a little bit old, but to say the least, guys, the defenders can play on for quite some time. So, to see him back in the strip of black and white stripes, I think it's fantastic. He's going to be playing up with, Chiellini again and Rugani. I'm not sure what Rugani's going to be thinking now, because he was thinking that he was going to be the #1 starter, but Bonucci being back at Juventus is going to be fantastic. They're going to definitely push for that, that Champions League, win title. I think Bonucci should be instrumental for this. It's just really strange that he's gone to Milan. He's captained the squad, and then he's left after a year. It's just so weird to think. But obviously financial fair play and everything. I know that, you know, Higuain has gone the other way instead, but it's just so strange to see that Bonucci only left for a season and then he's brought back after a year. I don't know what they were thinking, but maybe Bonucci got sick of it, and then, you know, he's just like, no, I don't want to play for Milan because they're not winning any trophies, and especially with the Champions League and European football that has been you know, taken away from them for the next few seasons, which is pretty fucked up if you ask me. But obviously you've got to stay within the laws of the game. Now, moving on to the last one of this page, we've got Andre Gomez. Now this one is this sort of thing is starting to get a little bit more into games these days. So he's been loaned by Everton for 2.2 million euros. Now this is happening a lot more now, that where teams have been bought to, you know, come into the squad. It's really strange. I'm not too sure what to think of it. I guess you can get your player that you want for the season for a lot cheaper fee, just to be on the safe side, because a lot of, you know, loans have you know, loan to buys these days to make sure that they're going to do well at the club and they don't want to waste a whole lot of money. But Andre Gomez, I don't know a lot about. I know he didn't play a lot, if not really all games for Barcelona last season. I think he was injured, because I believe he's injured at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see what Andre Gomez is like. I feel like he will bring a little bit of experience into that Everton squad. But to say the least, you know, Everton, I think, are looking for a European spot. So Andre Gomez, he's a fantastic midfielder, don't get me wrong, but hopefully he can stay fit and, you know, hopefully score some goals and assist some goals for Everton and help them out. Now, moving over to the next page as well. Now, these are all loans, guys. So, the first one is Solomon Rondon. Obviously, he did have a 15 or 20 million euro relegation clause in his contract, but it turns out that Newcastle decided to activate the loan system beforehand, just to make sure that Rondon can actually score some goals first, because obviously he struggled at West Brom last season. He only scored, I think, I'm going to be guessing around 8 or 9 goals last season. Still not too bad, I guess, in some sense, but obviously if you're looking for a big prolific goal scorer, you definitely want him to score at least 15 to 20 goals per season. We're all not like Mo Salah, but to say the least, Rondon, he had a few chances against Spurs on the weekend. He hit the bar. He was pretty unlucky. I really thought he should have buried that, but it was just so unlucky. Like 9 times out of 10, you'd get that in, but you know, for that to dip right at the last second to hit the bar, it was pretty unlucky. But hopefully, to see him and Joselu up front, whether it'll be a rotation or if they'll play them together, I think, you know, Rondon will do well at Newcastle. The way that they play the ball is probably, you know, instrumental in the way that Rondon likes to play. So, moving on to another one here is Mateo Kovacic. Now, I've heard two different things in the media. One is that he does have a loan to buy, and the other one is that he doesn't. Now, I'm not too sure whether it is or not. He pretty much stated on, you know, social media on Instagram that it looked like he wasn't going back to Real Madrid. So, whether his contract's up. No, I don't think it is. I think it's 2022 that his contract's up, actually, come to think of it. So maybe once this loan, you know, is done, he's going to be looking to go elsewhere on a permanent basis. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kovacic does play really well for Chelsea, and I think he will be bought out for a decent price, because, you know, we did sell off Courtois for only 35 million euros, which is an absolute bargain. I'll go into that a little bit later as well, but to say the least, I think Kovacic will be a great signing for Chelsea for the season. I know we've got a lot of central midfielders. There's probably more than what they can chew on at the moment, but it's going to be a battle this year. I think with the fact that Chelsea are going to be playing Europa League football, who are going to be looking at playing on a Thursday night, and they're going to be playing on a Saturday or a Sunday. It's not much break at all. It's just the later games for the Europa League, but I think, you know, Kovacic will play really well for Chelsea. I'm really hoping, because at least there's not too much stress on him at the moment, but I'm really looking forward to see what he's like in the Premier League. Now, the last one on this page is obviously Wassup. Did mention him before over Arias. Now, obviously, he's gone on loan to Inter Milan, who have spent a lot of time doing business this season. They're looking to, you know, tally up Juventus this season, which is pretty crazy. But Wassup, he's a fantastic right back. He definitely knows how to score goals. He had a fantastic World Cup, and, you know, like, his defensive player is really, really good as well. He worried me in the World Cup final against France, but, you know, obviously kept a little bit quiet. Don't go out that right side and you'll be right, pretty much. But to say the least, it's a fantastic signing. I know he is getting on to the mid to late 20s now, so obviously Arias would be the great replacement for Wassup. But for the time being, if you're playing for the present, Inter Milan have got themselves a steal. If if they manage to get him on a permanent basis, I think that would be fantastic after loan. But for Schalke, definitely one of the best right backs in the league. Now, moving on to the next page here. Now, this one has sort of gone under the radar ever since, Cristiano Ronaldo has joined Juventus. It is Emre Can. He has gone on a free transfer. Everyone knew he was going to Juventus, halfway through the Premier League season. It's a fantastic buy. He is still 23, 24 years old, so he's still got a lot of years left in him. He's a fantastic box-to-box player. He can defend, he can attack, he can score absolute bangers, and obviously he'd probably be looking to push to get back into that German squad. So Emre Can is a fantastic buy for Juventus, and I think he's definitely going to be a first-team starter for Juve. Moving on to the second one is Yarmolenko. Only spent a season at Borussia Dortmund for roughly around the same price for 20 million euros. I'm not too sure what to think of it. He is a real big, bulky winger. Doesn't really have a weak foot, but obviously he's really, really strong on the ball. Can shoot the ball really well as well. I think West Ham, for 20 million euros, I don't think you can go wrong these days with the market blowing just absolutely up with fucking money going everywhere. But I really hope that I can't wait to see him play. Obviously, we've sort of seen a little bit of Felipe Anderson already, which I'll go a little bit into as well. But 20 million, I don't think you can go wrong at all. Now, another one who's actually gone on loan is Sergio Rico. Now, he's gone from Sevilla onto Fulham, the newly promoted side as well. Fulham have done a lot of business, as you can tell. He started on the bench for the first game of the Premier League season, which was pretty strange, but maybe there's a little pattern, a way to play that Fulham has to go by. So, to say the least, I'm keen to see what he's like. It's just another good goalkeeper in the Premier League, and I guess really good for Premier League squads if he gets roughly an 82 rated card. Moving on to the second last page now. I'm not going to go too instrumental into this one. It is Thibaut Courtois, 35 million, gone to Real Madrid. What a fucking snake. Obviously, as you guys know, I'm pretty disappointed with the fact that the way that he left the club. But to be honest, do whatever you want, mate. I know your family's there. And everything, but the way that you left the club was pretty ridiculous, and how you tried to drag Hazard with you as well really pisses us off. But to say the least, whatever. Good luck to you. I really hope you don't do too well, and I really hope Keylor Navas starts over you. So I think a lot of the Chelsea supporters will be thinking the same thing, but I'm not a big fan of the way that you left the club, so I'm not. That's all I'm going to say about him. Next one, obviously, Rui Patricio has. Now, actually, we'll go into the both of them here. So we've got Rui Patricio and Gelson Martins. Now, they both went as a free. So Patricio going to Wolves and Gelson going to Atletico Madrid. Both top signings for both clubs. Now, the thing is though, Patricio and Gelson, there had to be compensation fees apparently, even though that the fee has gone down as a free. But to say the least, 20 million I think that they were looking at for compensation fees. Either or for both players is fantastic. Patricio is obviously a world-class goalkeeper, played throughout the World Cup for Portugal, and I believe he played for the Euros. He's been, Portugal's #1 goalkeeper for quite a while now. So obviously he's bringing a lot of experience into Wolves. And then Gelson Martins, it just freshens up that that attacking presence at Atletico, and they're going to definitely poise Barcelona for the championship, because I don't think that the Real Madrid are going to give it too much of a hit. I think they're going to fall back a bit. I feel like they're going to sit third, but to say the least, Gareth Bale can come out and absolutely smash it, and we probably wouldn't be very surprised. So now moving into the last page now, guys. Now obviously I briefly went over him about a couple of minutes ago. It's Felipe Anderson. He broke the West Ham United record fee for 38 million euros. He's really, really exciting to watch on the ball. He's very skillful, as you probably would know if you saw him at Lazio. He's Brazilian as well, so that just says it all. He's a fantastic on-the-ball player, can score goals, and I'm really surprised that he has decided to go to West Ham, because a lot of teams, like say last year, Tottenham, Man City, Man United have been after him for a couple of years for that right wing spot, and to think that Felipe Anderson has only gone for 38 million to go to West Ham, who have been dominated 4-0 in the first game against Liverpool, which is a bit shaky, but I guess with all the signings that West Ham have already made, you just can't. I'm sure they're not going to gel straight away. So we'll see what Felipe Anderson's going to be like in the next few weeks, and we'll be able to tell a little bit more, say by the end of September. Now, moving on to the second last one is we've got Tiamu Bakayoko. Now, obviously, he was fantastic for Monaco in their big triumph season that I did go over before as well. His first season at Chelsea wasn't too great. You know, the start was actually really good, not gonna lie. I was really excited to have a new DM in the team and everything, but yeah, really hasn't sparked up too much at all. Throughout pre-season, he lost the ball so many times, and I just don't think he's looked settled throughout the second half of the season last season, whether it was a Conte sort of thing that, you know, bringing him in and out and there was no consistency. But to say the least, he's gone to Milan on loan with a buyout clause of 35 million euros, I think, as well, and I believe 2 or 4 million has been put on as a loan transfer fee as well. So good luck to him. I hope he does really well. I hope he does what Michi does, actually plays really well, and bring him back into the team, because we know what Tiamu is, you know, what he can do and what he can bring to a club. So hopefully he can come back to the team and do some wonders, I guess. Now the last one is Soyuncu. Yeah, I'm not too sure where he was from. He was somewhere in the Bundesliga, I think. I think mine. No, it wasn't mine. Freiburg, I think it was. He's gone to Leicester for 21 million now. When I first saw this, I thought, oh shit, fucking Man United getting their man. They're gonna get Harry Maguire. It didn't happen, so which is a bit strange. But so obviously he's probably going to look at partnering Harry Maguire for the first part of the season, because I really reckon Harry Maguire is still going to leave. I reckon it's going to be in January. Man United are going to throw a lot of money at him. It's just exactly what they did to Alexis Sanchez last season, so it's going to be interesting. I think Soyuncu is going to be there for the long term, and obviously to get him early just to show him the ropes the Leicester way. But I can't wait to see what Manchester United do. I wonder if they will go after Harry again. I'm sure they will, but if they do, at least they'll have Soyuncu to go in there straight away. But nonetheless, guys, that is all for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. There are a lot of loans in this video, but that's just the way that the market is flowing at the moment, because it is absolutely hauling with money. But if I've missed anyone, let me know. If there are some more transfers in the next couple of weeks, obviously since the Premier League transfer window is the only one that's closed, but still players can go out, as you're probably aware. I will do another video. But nonetheless, guys, that wraps this one up. But if you have enjoyed, please give it a like, please do subscribe, and I shall see you guys on the next video. Peace out.